Hi guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the 100 episode 312 titled Demons, which premiered Thursday, April 21st, 2016 on the CW. So, guys, quite a lot happened in this episode. So, let's jump right into it. Something new that we learned in this episode. So, basically, a majority of this episode takes place within Arcadia. And it's 2 days since Jasper plowed through the front gates and drove off with Clark and Raven. So it's two days after where the delinquents returned with St. Clair. And it's completely deserted. There's no one there. It pretty much looks as if they just dropped everything and left. Like, you got food, left out food, you got cups that are half drunk, you got stuff in the middle of being processed and being left behind. So it's like a ghost town now, essentially. So everyone's wondering what the hell happened. Since for them it's been 2 days, but for us, the last time we saw Arcadia was in episode 310. So where did everybody go? That's the next question. But the mission for this episode, the reason why they came back to Arcadia is because they came for Lincoln's book, which we saw a lot in season 1, where it had all the drawings of places, all the maps, the tally of all the 100, the picture of Octavia, so that book. And they're there to get more gear as well, weapons, ammo, anything they could fit in the rover, they're there to get. So while they're gearing up and trying to find what they can use, Raven figures out how to activate the flame, the version 2 of the AI chip, and apparently it needs a certain phrase to unlock it. And initially, they think Clark might know it because it would be something that Lexa would say a lot. Turns out it's the phrase that was on Commander Becca's journal about the whole thing, and it was actually in Latin because a lot of Becca's writing was in Latin. So St. Clair does a loose translation for the phrase, and it activates. Activating the flame means you get all these spidery little web thingies emerging from it, and it's not just some simple chip-looking thing. It looks like it's alive, like legit alive. So there's that. However, Arcadia seems to be more of a problem, as it's not as deserted as they thought. Turns out that Emerson is inside, and he's kidnapping all the delinquents to get to Clark, and he even kills St. Clair. Don't know why he only left the kids alive and killed the adult. Maybe that's the reason, because St. Clair was able to put more of a fight against Emerson. But yeah, he's a casualty that we sadly had to see go, which I thought was unfair. But Emerson pretty much wanted Clark to suffer. So essentially, Emerson locks all the delinquents away in the airlock that he was first put in when the Ark first captured him back in episode 211. And he has them all handcuffed there, and he basically forces Clark to watch them suffocate before they truly die in that airlock. Thankfully, she manages to fight Emerson long enough that she could get the flame from her pocket, activate it, and use it against him, because the flame only works with those who have who are night bloods, which is the black blood, which we find out is a result of the gene therapy that Becca had done to her, and the black blood just ended up being a hereditary thing. So since Emerson doesn't have that, the flame took over and killed him from within. So thankfully, Clark was able to unlock the airlock and get all the air back into her friends for them to breathe again. However, Emerson's return just is another proof moment for me that Clark should have killed him back in episode 306, because when it comes to TV shows, or shows specifically like this, when you let an enemy who is hell-bent on getting revenge against you go, 95% of the chance they are going to come back guns blazing, and they're going to cause more damage than they would have done if you just killed them off. So, for example, if Clark had killed Emerson back in 306, St. Clair would still be alive. This whole attack of this episode would not have happened. Back on the originals, another thing, spoiler alert for that, though. But if Klaus had just killed Aurora when he had her, instead of entombing her, she never would have escaped and wreaked more havoc onto him now. Let's see, who else? I'm blanking here, oh my god. Yep, I'm definitely blanking here. Yeah, but those are the two that most recent ones that have come to my head. But basically, for TV shows and stuff like this, you really are. Yes, it shows that the difference between the good guys and bad guys is the good guys don't kill their enemy and just let them have their punishment. But for TV shows like this, 95% of the time, the enemy that you bested by not killing them and just letting them suffer in advance are more likely to come back with a vengeance, forcing you to have to kill them in the end. So killing your enemy is inevitable. The timing of it is basically what's going to either be in your best interest or it's going to screw you over later on. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, so the ending of the episode pretty much for Arcadia shows the funeral for Lincoln and St. Clair, and it's with a funeral pyre surrounded by the flags of all 12 nations, and both of the goodbye phrases are saved. Your fight is over, done in Grounder, and may we meet again is also spoken, and both bodies are set on fire as all the delinquents stand around in a circle to watch it. And then it's Octavia who set things going, saying, okay, we need to move, let's get going and let's move. So there's that. We brief, and then we also have what happens in Polis. Mainly, though, Murphy reunites with Amori, who we later discover is actually chipped, so she's working for Jaha and everything like that. So everything Murphy told Amori in confidence about being the fake Flamekeeper, how he can't really do the ascension ritual for Antari, even if they did have the flame. Jaha Amori finds out, therefore Jaha knows because of the fact that they're chipped. And then Jaha uses that against Murphy and gets Antari to turn against Murphy and have him arrested. Then Jaha goes to Antari, gives her a chip, saying that she'll get more power this way, when essentially Antari takes it, and now Ali is in control of Polis, and the gates are open for Grounders to come in and accept the chip to go to the City of Lights. So there's that issue right there. Antari did not last long as a commander. I'll leave it at that. So what was the most shocking moment in the episode? For me, it definitely has to be the fact that Amori was chipped. I wasn't expecting that, although it does make sense because of the fact that she was outcasted because of the fact that her hand was a mutated version, and the City of Light gets rid of imperfections, so it makes sense why she'd want to go there. Plus, she was also looking for her brother, and her brother was killed while being chipped, so if she wanted to find her brother, City of Light would be where she'd have to go to see him. So there's that. So top 3 favorite moments of the episode for me, definitely the first one has to be Bellamy and Clark. Bellamy and Clark. Anytime they have a scene together, you can pretty much guess that they're going to be in my top 5. They're going to be my top favorite moments. Because Bellamy and Clark in this episode, I love the teamwork they had. I love that they had each other's backs. I love that when Clark had a problem, she immediately went to Bellamy. She even fell into his arms, which was like, yes, even though she just lost Monty in that moment in the chaos of the smoke. So it's like, I'll forgive you just because of the Bellac moment. And then also when Clark had a plan, and then Bellamy refused to let her go in it alone, and he wanted to be by her side and help her through it, even make the tough call of killing Emerson, since it was clear that Clark wouldn't do it the first time around. So I really like how much they had their back, how much they had each other's backs. I really like how it gave me a sense of season 1 again, when they were finally getting into the partnership between them, how they were finally getting in the groove of being co-leaders together. I really missed that, and I'm glad that we got to see that again. So I definitely like that for sure. Another favorite moment for me has to be Clark beating Emerson. That fight was fantastic. I love that she didn't stop fighting when she saw her friend suffocating. I like that she was going to fight until the very end. I love how she used the flame chip against Emerson. It further proves just what happens if someone not a Nightblood what happens to them if they manage to get the flame activated on them. So yeah, they'd have to be very selective on who gets that privilege of having all that knowledge of past commanders and stuff like that. Although I will say this, during the whole fight scene, for some strange reason, I thought Rowan would like come in and intervene somehow, because we all know that he was given an order to find the flame and to find Clark. So we haven't seen Rowan since then, so it could be very possible that he's been trying to track her and he's always been a step behind. And then maybe the moment that he finally catches up to her is this moment where she's fighting Emerson. And so I just had this weird, crazy idea that Rowan would be coming down the hallway, rushing, and he rushes to protect Clark, in a sense. And then eventually, while having a moment to breathe, or while Rowan's taking care of Emerson, she can go rescue her friends and stuff like that. Like, I really like that Clark was able to defeat Emerson the way she did, but for some reason I thought Rowan, that was how we were going to see Rowan again. So it was like crazy, but we didn't get to see it, but it's like fan fiction right there for you people. So last favorite moment for me has to be definitely Murphy and Amori, the reunion between them, all before we found out she was chipped. I like the reunion, like the connection, like the chemistry. I liked it. I really like how well they play off of each other. The moment we found out she was chipped, though, and he was tricked by her, it's like I could forget all that happened with Amori. But the whole happy reunion before we found out that she was chipped, I definitely like that between them. Especially since we haven't seen them together since 305. So there's that. Alright, so moving on to most peeved moments. I'm just moving my document here. 1, St. Clair was killed. It sucks that he was killed, and just when we were finally getting some screen time with him, and especially with him and Raven sharing the screen together, it definitely shows that they definitely had a connection, student mentor, close bond type thing with them. I kind of wish we got to see St. Clair and Monty, since we also found out in previous episodes that it was St. Clair who recruited Monty. So there's that. Hold on. Sorry, a bit brief interruption there, so I had a quick pause. So second thing that kind of bugged me in this episode was the fact that the delinquents are splitting up again. So at the very end of the episode, it was decided that Bellamy, Clark, Octavia, and Jasper would continue the search for Luna, while Raven, Monty, Harper, Brian, and Miller were going to stay behind at Arcadia and try to figure out a way to gain access to Allie version 1. Because Raven remembered that Allie had downloaded herself into the Arcadia's mainframe. So they were hoping that they would find some trace of her code and find a back door into it. Because in order to take down Allie 1, they would need to have access to her. So they're hoping once they get what they need from version 2, which is the Commander Flame. So once they find Luna, whatever the old commanders can tell them about getting rid of Allie, then they'd be able to relay it back to Arcadia and get them to access Allie 1. So the fact that I don't like that they're splitting up, because of the fact that they just got back together, they just reunited, and it's a shame that we're gonna have to see them split off again. It's just, can they not? The last time they all were together was that we've actually seen was season 1. So I really liked last episode and this episode because we got to see them working together again. But now they're splitting off, and it's like, oh, here we go again. But yeah, it's productive because if they split off, they get twice the amount of things done in a sense. But it sucks to see them all separated. Last peeved moment for sure is the fact that Mori was chipped. I get why she's chipped. I get why she would want to be chipped. But it just sucks that Murphy was manipulated by a chipped version of Imori. And it's kind of weird because they had sex while she was chipped. So does that mean that everyone else who is chipped also had like access to that kind of experience? I hope not, because that'd be creepy. So what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The fact that Emerson attacked. Yeah. At least, now that he's dead, don't have to worry about him coming back with a vengeance. Because I did say, I believe, back in 306, that he was going to come back once they let him go. Don't know when. I thought he was going to come back later on, but turned out he came back a lot sooner than I had thought, at least. So there's that. So moving on to random questions. First off is, why would Emerson kill St. Clair yet spare the others? I think I covered that already. And I think it's because of the fact that he was an adult. He had more of a chance of holding his own against Emerson, maybe. Maybe that's why he thought he'd get rid of him now, thinking that the kids would be scared little kids and weren't capable of anything. Well, he knows Clark's capable, and he knows Bellamy is capable, but the others, I think he underestimated them, but maybe it's because St. Clair actually put up a fight against him, and maybe that's why he killed him, but I hate that he was killed off, for sure. But I'm wondering what you guys thought about that. Next question, why would Antari take the chip? She's not the leader. Why would Antari want to take the chip to the City of Light? I mean, yeah, Jaha appealed to the fact that she wanted to be a leader, she wanted more power, so maybe she took the chip for that. But now she's a slave to Allie being pretty much the quote-unquote commander. So it's like, you kind of screwed yourself over there. So it's like, was she just like blinded by wanting power, or did she really seriously think that she'd still maintain power after taking that chip? No clue. I kind of find it funny that Antari, who was trying to fool everyone, is now a step down from everybody now. Next question is, everyone that was in Arcadia now in Polis with Jaha? Did only Jaha make it to the trip to Polis, or did he actually bring everyone to Arcadia? If they're not in Polis, then where is everyone from Arcadia? Where did they go? So that's another mystery there. Last question. Was it wise for everyone to split up again? I mean, I get how it's, they could be more productive. Half the team works on finding Luna, half the team works on trying to get access to Allie. And what better place than Arcadia with all the technology? But is it really wise to split up their group like that? I mean, you're stronger together with more numbers and such like that, because now it's like 4 and 5 instead of 9 type thing. So it's like, you're gonna have to be pretty careful out there for sure. But I guess less group means you can easily conceal yourself. You're not a bigger target, I guess, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's about it. So let's move on to predictions very quickly. Sorry if I keep moving the camera. I'm trying to see my screen without actually looking away as often, if that makes any sense. Plus, I'm also in a new location, as you can tell. I'm back home. So yeah. So based off the promo for 313, looks like Pike is giving lessons about surviving on the ground, which basically means as long as you keep fighting, you'll survive on the ground. But the moment you stop fighting on the ground, you can pretty much die. And Octavia is seen in that lesson. Murphy is seen in that lesson. Jasper is seen in that lesson. Fox is seen in that lesson. So it's possible that it's a flashback, but I'll get right back to that in a moment. Promo also shows Kane getting tortured by chipped out Abby, who is trying to find the delinquents' locations. So that's going to be tough, for sure. We also see Bellamy and Clark sticking together and saying that they need each other, and the hug. We also see the hug. And also it looks like Octavia's rage is going to flow into overdrive for sure, to the point that she's shouting out in anger to the world type thing. So based off the synopsis, I'll get back to all that in a minute, for the episode, it looks like Clark is on a mission that could change everything. It looks like Murphy learned something that could ensure his survival, and Kane reaches a breaking point. So based off of all of that, Bellamy and Clark, we finally get the hug. I've been waiting since the first trailer came out in December for the season, where they did a little preview of that hug between Bellamy and Clark, and I've been waiting for that to happen, waiting for it to happen. And I've watched that moment in the promo like repeatedly, trying to see if it's the exact same moment that's in the trailer, and it looks like it. It really does. So I'm really hoping like this is our moment. And I also can't get what Clark says to Bellamy out of my head. He says, "We need each other, Bellamy." It's like, I hope he accepts that, instead of back in 305 when they fought over that and he spit it in her face that she's turning to someone else for help and need instead of him. But I really hope they continue being a united front. I love that they're back together on the same side for this, so it's just fantastic. All right, Now, based on that lesson that Pike was giving back on the Ark, I really think that's a flashback. And from the looks of it, since Octavia's in there, I think just before they sent the delinquents down to the ground, I think Pike gave a lesson to them about what to possibly expect and what to, like, helpful reminders, like always to keep fighting, and survival tips and stuff like that. Because before Octavia was locked up in the skybox, no one knew she existed, so she never went to class, she wasn't around people besides Bellamy. So the fact that she's in a classroom right now makes me think that it's a flashback to the lesson that Pike gave to the delinquents who were meant to go on the ground. So that's what I think that is. I can't wait to see that. It was great. It will be great to see that kind of scenario, them in class and lesson, what type of things they were learning about Earth before they actually experienced it for themselves. So I definitely can't wait to see that. Another thing I predict out of what we just released was that there's definitely going to be some fallout between a chipped out Abby and Kane after this whole torturing scene. Like, assuming that both of them survive this ordeal, assuming Kane survives the torture, assuming that Abby survives being chipped, there's definitely going to be some repercussions between the two, because the last time these two people saw each other, they were giving each other a kiss goodbye, like a full-on kiss. So it's like Kane's definitely going to be confused to see this chipped out version of this woman that he has feelings for, and to have her dishing out so much pain towards him like this, it's definitely going to be messing with whatever they had, messing with his own head. So I definitely see some sort of repercussion going on as well. Overall, in general, where the season could go, we're definitely going to see the search for Luna growing more intense as they run out of time. They've got to be able to shut down Allie 1 before she takes over the ground, essentially, with all these chipped out versions of people. I mentioned King Rowan before, but hopefully we'll actually see him catching up to Clark, and find out if he's either a friend or a foe to her, because last time when he was helping her out of the city, he told her, the next time I see you, we won't be friends, because him helping her out of the city was kind of like him paying his debt to her. So if that's the case, I'd love to see if King Rowan is actually going to take Clark and try to bring her back to Polis with the flame, or if he's actually going to join in on her quest to find Luna and get her as a new commander instead of Antari. But I'm definitely missing King Rowan. I didn't think I'd miss him, but I do, for sure. So I hope we see him again. And what else? What else? We gotta see the City of Lights. We only see glimpses of it. It's always some skyline thing that we always see whenever it's shown, but hopefully we'll actually see what it means to be City of Light. I'm thinking I'm thinking the City of Light is what it's supposed to look like if the nuclear apocalypse thing never happened. Like, you still get the city skyline, you still get the city towers in pristine condition, maybe too clean, but you still get that type of utopian type feel, but it's still a connect to what the Earth was like before the nuclear radiation destroyed everything. So hopefully we'll see some glimpse of that. And that's a prediction. So let's move on to my top 5 favorite episodes list. So guys, as you know, since the 6th episode aired this season, I've been sharing with you guys what my top favorite episodes are, whether it's the ship focused list or it's the non-ship focused list, because you know, when you have like certain things, you automatically will connect with an episode. So that's what I'm going. So on screen right now, you see what my list was as of last week for both focuses. So for this week, I am placing episode 312 in number 4 for the ship focus list, and that is because of Bellamy and Clark working together as a team and having each other's backs and like being together as a unit. So it's just, that's my favorite. I'm gonna remember it like that. So now you pretty much have spots 1, 2, 3, and 4 all Bellark inspired, and then number 5 is the Clark and Rowan scene just before the big fight between him and Alexa. So that's what it is for my ship list. But based off the non-ship focus list, I am putting this episode, unfortunately, in number 8. and that is because of the fight between Clark and Emerson. I really like that fight. It was definitely spot on. I really like it when Clark does fights like these, because it shows how resourceful she is and how willing she is to fight at the very end, and just how far she's willing to go. And it just, for them, they only made it to number 8, so there's that. So you still got the original top 5 that I have, and that's it for that. I do plan on posting these lists on my website that I'm working on right now, with a bit more of a detailed explanation as to why I've picked that episode as its current standing for that week. So hopefully check it out. Maybe I'll have it up and running by next week or so. Hopefully I'll try to work on it. I got a lot of things to catch up on, but that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you like about it? What did you want to work out differently, aka Sinclair? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to comment about your own thoughts, theories, predictions, even your own questions like that. I'd love to give some insight and answer anything that maybe I didn't touch upon in this video. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos if you haven't done so already. Also, don't forget to check out my Tumblr page if you want more info about the 100, whether it's promos, sneak peeks, web clips, quotes, GIFs, stuff like that. Link for that is down below as well. You got 2 links. The first one's for this episode specifically, and the second link will lead you to a master tag list of everything related to the 100. For that one, you have to click on it and then scroll to the very bottom. And then you have all your tags related to this fabulous show. So there's that. Fortunately for Tumblr, I'm like a month behind in like posting stuff. Just when I've started being, just when I got caught up to the videos, and now I'm really behind on Tumblr, so I'm going to be working on getting that all sorted out. But follow me there if you want to follow what I post and stuff like that. It's usually TV show related, so that's a good indicator for you. Yeah, so that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. I truly appreciate it. Sorry for the delay of the video. I had to go home this weekend to finish off a few things. Thought I'd do a video because it's actually, it's roughly been a year since I started this channel, so I figured, why not do a few actual videos, and I actually got my got things done today, so I figured, why not do something fancy. So here you are. But yeah, so I hope you tune in next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel, wishing you a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.